welcome to my channel. I am Stephanie, and today I'm going to be doing the Opposites book tag. The Opposites book tag was created by the Brazilian booktuber. I will link the video that I watched to get this tag. It has been a while, so I don't know if it's going to be still up or not, but I'll leave the link down in the description box so you guys can, follow along or do the tag if you wish. So here we go. Here are some opposites when it comes to books. So the first opposite I'm going to talk about is the first book in my collection and the last book that I bought. So the first book in my collection that's huge, I didn't necessarily do a signed, unsigned when I started signing stuff, like getting books signed and stuff like that. But the first book that I ever bought, or that I can remember buying to like start a collection, was The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks. And due to recent controversy, this is probably going to get on hold soon. The last book that I have picked up and bought was The Other Side by Kim Holden, which I picked up during the Girls Are Back in Town signing that I went to just this past weekend. She was the last author that I saw before the session was over for my time, and I picked up this new release from her, and I can't wait to get into it. The next set of opposites is the cheapest book and the most expensive book that I purchased. The cheapest book that I received, which I've received quite a few because I won this one in a giveaway, and it is Song of Blood and Stone by Elle Penelope, and I won it in a giveaway, so it was free. And my most expensive book is my Crockpot Best Loved Slow Cooker Recipes, and I want to say I spent about $35 on this book. I mean, it's quite chunky, but it's a recipe book and you just expect it. I use it all the time. I really do love it because I love using my slow cooker. So a lot of the books that I read have dual perspectives, so this was kind of a hard one, and that is having a male perspective or protagonist and a female protagonist. So I went with Grey by E.L. James, which is the Christian point of view from the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy, or 50 Shades of Grey, period, by E.L. James. So I decided to pick both of these for our male and for our female protagonists. Next, I have a book that I read through really quickly, and a book that took me a long time to read through, and my quick read was Coach by Alexa Riley. This one only took me a couple hours. It's super thin, and it is such a fun, sexy, just yummy sexiness read. Yes, of course. And then my book that took me the longest to get through was A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, and I actually listened to this on audiobook, and it took me a long time. It's quite a big book anyways. It's like 600 pages, I think. Nope, it's only 400 pages. Wow. Anyways, it's only 400 pages, but it took me forever to get through it. And it wasn't just because of the length of the audiobook, because I think the audiobook is only like 16 hours, which I listened to them mostly on 1.5 speed and 2 speed. So I should have been able to get through it in like 8 to 9 hours, and I want to say it took me the full 16 hours to get through this book. Now this next opposite pair is a little controversial, probably because it is based on my opinion, and it has nothing to do with the actual contents of the book, but it has to do with the covers. And for my prettiest book, I have to go with the special edition of Long Shot by Kennedy Riley. When I saw this cover, I just had to get it, and I ordered a box and got this special edition cover. Now, like I said, this has nothing to do with the content of this next book. It has to do with the cover. I find that the cover for the album by Ashley Pulo is just a bit boring. It has nothing to do with the inside of this story. The story is really beautiful. It has to deal with music, and it has to deal with a couple and how music shaped their lives, and I just loved this story, but this cover is just not my fave. The next pairing we have is national and international. So I had a little bit of a hard time picking for this one because there are quite a few books on my shelves that have sort of that international feel, but they also are based in the United States, which is where I'm based. So the first one I picked for national, I went with The Flip, and this is book number 2 in the Romance in Rehoboth. And Rehoboth is an actual place. It's in Delaware, and I really enjoyed this book. It is about a woman that gets a house and she decides to flip it, and it's partly owned by her sort of arch nemesis, and it's a lot of fun, and it actually is based a lot from K.L. Montgomery's life and how, you know, she lives close to there, and so there are a lot of places that are very real in this book based off of Rehoboth. And for national, I went with The Awakening of Lizzie Dalton, Savage by L.A. Fure. This is mainly based in Scotland, and there are some parts of it that are based in New York, but for the most part it is based in Scotland, and the lores and fairy tales of Scotland, and I love this book. This book is amazing, by the way, and its cover is fire, so yeah. Next pairing we have is a thin book, and I'm going to go with Rutherford the Unicorn Sheep Goes for a Hike by Ariel Sealing. And this book is super short. It is a kid's book. It has pictures in it, within it, and it is such a cute just story, one-liners here and there, and I really enjoyed this book. I bought it for my son, and he enjoyed it, and I love the pictures. I love Rutherford. He's real cute. And my thick book, I went with Stephen King's Under the Dome, and even though I have not read this book, I have watched the series, and I kind of want to read it, but yeah, once again, another one of those authors that may be getting unhauled because of bad behavior. Next pairing we have is fiction and nonfiction. So this was a little difficult for me because I don't have a lot of nonfiction books, but I was able to find one in my shelves. But the fiction book I went with is The Color Purple by Alice Walker. I absolutely love this book. I love this movie. I really want to see the play on Broadway or in theater because I just think it's amazing. It's an amazing, amazing story about sexuality, about being yourself, post Jim Crow South, and it just is so moving. It's just everything. It really is everything. And then for nonfiction, I went with my copy of Jenny McCarthy's Baby Laughs. I actually had baby belly laughs and baby laughs when I was going through my pregnancy with my son, and this book, the series, this duet really, really helped me out. It's about all the trials and tribulations that she went through while she was pregnant, and she makes them fun and funny and relatable, and letting a pregnant woman know that she is not alone, and the crazy stuff that happens during pregnancy and through that first year of mommyhood really do happen, and you can handle it, and it can be handled in a fun way. And it's just her experience, and I loved it. The next set of opposites we have is a romance book and an action book. And for my romance book, I went with Hard Love by Joanne Schwim. And this, when I decided to pick this book, I wanted to pick a book that was just swoon-worthy, that really made me feel like, oh, this is just so much about the love match and everything like that. In this story, you have your best friend's brother and the sister that didn't see each other when they were younger. One was an ugly duckling, and you know, they finally see each other in an unusual place and sort of go from there. And I really, really just felt really swoony throughout this entire story. And for my action book, I went with Black Hawk Down by Mark Bowden, and I love this book. I love this movie. I have known some of the soldiers that were involved in this incident, and just so many yeses. Yes. And if you don't know, this is about the Black Hawks that went down in Mogadishu in 1994, I believe it was. No, 93. in 1993, and how the special operators and the Rangers were caught in a hot zone, and how they ended up getting out, even though they had to rescue two helicopters of people, Rangers and Special Forces members. And it's just, anyone that's been in the military knows about this story, and it's just moving. And the way that Mark put this together was just so amazing. And then our final pairing is a book that made me happy and a book that made me sad. For the book that made me happy, I went with The Misadventures of a Backup Bride. And in this story, it's a rom-com, but it has a bit of a heart, and it just made me feel really good when I read it. Our main female character needs money, and she finds a way to do that by, you know, getting a call from a guy that needs help saving his company, and together they're, you know, really good together. It was rom-com, but at the same time light, and just what I needed when I read it. And for Mate Means Sad, even though this is an amazing, amazing book, it devastated me. When Ashes Fall by Marnie Mann, and just thinking about this book, because of the event that it surrounds, there are a couple of events in my life that I really, really just gravitate to, and this event is definitely one of them. I wasn't as involved in this event as I was some other ones, but this one definitely hit me hard as well. And anything that's written about that event, I really sort of gravitate to and feel, and am just completely involved in it. And I spent a couple of hours, I devoured this book in a day, and it emotionally wrecked me. Alrighty, that is the opposites book tag. I hope you guys enjoyed some of those opposites. Have you read any of the books that I just named off? Let me know what you think about them down in the comments section. Give me some of your opposites to answer some of those questions. Like I said, the questions will be in the description box, so if you want to do this tag, please do. I greatly appreciate it. And, you know, give me a shout out saying that you saw it on my channel. Not that I created it, but that I did it, that you saw it and you wanted to be like me. No. Anyways, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys later.